Hello, I am Arion. This is Book Zealots January wrap-up. What did I read in the month of January 2024? I would say it was a very productive month. But let's back up. Okay, the spin selections. I only read 2 of the 4. Only read 2 of the 4. And I don't even have the 2 that I haven't read with me, but I didn't read them, so they're going into February TBR. The very first book I read, I don't even know if I talked about it. The Heretics Daughter. I don't know where this came from. The Heretics Daughter by Kathleen Kent. I've had this book for so long. I don't even know how long I have had this book. So I am thrilled that I have finally read it. I just wanted to see if I had anything to give me a hint of how long I've had it. It was published in 2008. So sometime after that, I've had it a long time. I liked this book. So this book is about a girl whose mother is accused of witchcraft in Salem. And this book is so well written. I'm thinking about keeping this book. I don't know if I should. It was great. I didn't give it a 5-star, but it was very well written. I cried. It was so good. It was good. One more time. It was good. What Your Body Knows About God. I was extremely disappointed with this. This is by Rob Moll. It says how we are designed to connect, serve, and thrive. This book didn't feel like it knew what it wanted to do. The author, I don't know. It wasn't quite a Christian book, and it wasn't quite a science book, and it didn't mesh together very well, in my opinion. There was some green stuff. My one little green highlight, talking about deeper prayer and how it connects with your brain, or what it does to your brain. I had watched a documentary on that, so that wasn't new to me. I don't like that he's talking about vain repetition, or I'm sorry, the vain is my part. He talks about repetition, repeating phrases, and we are not supposed to do that. That's just one of the many issues I had with that book. That's definitely it's going bye-bye. Ada Blackjack, A True Story of Survival in the Arctic by Jennifer Niven? Sorry. This was interesting. Oh my goodness. It is amazing that she survived. You know she survived because the book is, well, I guess you wouldn't know. She survives. I couldn't help but think, why are they going to this island? So the island, by the way, is off of Russia. It's closer to Russia than it is to Alaska. So she was what they call an Eskimo back then. We now call Inuits, I believe. So if you have a problem with that terminology, you might not want to read it. It's not excessive. I don't think Ada has a problem calling herself an Eskimo back then. But she was hired as a cook and a seamstress, and she was a little hesitant to go because she was going with 4 other men. Doesn't look good, right? Doesn't look good. Okay. She had this thing called Arctic hysteria. Yeah, she lost her ever-loving a couple of times. And I can only imagine. And we can say, oh, that would never happen to me. But you know what? We don't know unless we've actually been there or experienced it. This girl, she had been married. That's where she got the name Blackjack. They had a child. And in this community, the Inuit community, apparently you don't really need to get married. You just like somebody, have an agreement, move in together, have a kid. And then when he gets sick and tired of you, he just says, see you later. And that's exactly what her husband did. So she couldn't afford to take care of her child. And this is why she took this job, was so that she could earn some money to get her son back. This book was so fascinating. I recommend this book. It was good. Okay. Next one. This was faith-based. Oh, okay. So this was the Rick McDonald spin. And this was book number 5 on my elimination shelves. This is by Angela Hunt. This book is about Thomas Didymus, and they're twins. So her name, what was her name? Tasman. Thomas and Tasman are at a wedding and they're working. Only Thomas isn't pulling his weight. He's hanging out with some guy named Jesus, and she's having to do all the work. And if you know anything about the Bible, this is where Jesus turns the water into wine, and she's trying to find out, wait, how'd you do that? Well, she runs into his brother, his half-brother, Jude, who's also trying to figure out, how did he do that? This was interesting. I liked this one. I actually liked this book, and I also liked that it wasn't all about the romance that's at the very end. So there's that. Then I have Read for Your Life, 11 Ways to Transform Your Life with Books by Pat Williams. I didn't know who Pat Williams is. You probably know. So it was a surprise to me. Now, I thought it was interesting because in the very beginning, there is a foreword by Phil Jackson, who is the head coach, or was the head coach of LA Lakers. Oh my goodness. Okay, side note. LA Laker fans are crazy. Here in the UK, the college fans put the LA Lakers fans to shame. That's all I'm going to say. Okay, they're not like cray, but they're as devoted. Let me just say that. Okay. Now the foreword is basically saying, what are you doing? You're writing a book about reading, and the only people that are going to read the book are readers. Which I get, you're preaching to the choir here. However, there's a lot of inspiration in here about encouraging those that do not read, which is great. So I might do a separate video on this book because there's a lot to be said about reading. So. Then, The Art of Neighboring, Building Genuine Relationships Right Outside Your Door by 2 authors, Jay Pathak and Dave Runyon. Okay. Interesting, and yet doesn't really apply. It's more of a suburb setup than it is a rural setup. However, there's a section in here where it says you need to map out your, I'm trying to find it real quick. You need to map out your neighborhood and write what you know about your neighbors. Oh, you know what? I'm just going to go to the end because I know that it's there. It's in here twice. Okay. It looks like this. Okay. So this is supposed to be you. And then you need to know the 3 people that live across the street, your 2 side neighbors, and then your 3 back neighbors. Okay, well, that doesn't apply to me. So I needed to figure out, okay, so I've got a neighbor kind of to the side. I have one neighbor in front and one kind of that way. And then I have the neighbor behind me. And then the neighbor way on the other side of them on a whole nother street. Okay, I know them, I know them, I know them, I know them, but I don't know I don't know them. And I know a lot about my neighbors because we all keep an eye on each other and we all text each other and look out for each other. And oh, side note, I just got some jerky from my back neighbor. It was so good, it's all gone. Okay, anyway, so this was interesting. I like this. I liked it because this is what we need to do. We need to be neighborly. We need to be friendly. You don't have to be friends, just friendly. And I like it. It's good. Okay, high performance habits. How extraordinary people become that way by Brendan Burchard. I've had this book a while, and I started it. I don't know what page I landed on. If you guessed 14, it probably was, but I don't know. This took me so long to get into. However, there were some things that I liked in, and I did highlight some things. Let me just say it was better than Atomic Habits, in my opinion. It was good. I might keep it for a little while because I also have the planner. Okay. More to come regarding this later. I'm not sure what's going to happen. I used to know that literature, inside stories of famous authors, classic characters, unforgettable phrases, and unanticipated endings by C. Alan Joyce and Sarah Jansen. I was very disappointed with this book. It puts a lot of highlight on crazy people, crazy authors. I don't think it was, okay, I think the first part of the chapter was interesting, but then it starts talking about their use of alcohol and drugs. And there's a quote in here by Hunter S. Thompson. I don't know who that is. I had to look it up. All I did was look up the name, author, and it said that he eliminated his life. So his quote is, "I hate to advocate drugs, alcohol, violence, or insanity to anyone, but they've always worked for me." Apparently they didn't. Apparently none of it worked for him if he eliminated himself. Okay. It's going bye-bye. I'm sorry I wasted whatever amount of money I wasted on this from thrift books. It's going bye-bye. I don't think crazy authors who eliminate themselves should be highlighted in a positive way. Just saying. Life on the Mississippi by Mark Twain. I don't know if I'll show this side so you can see. I don't know if they had a dust cover. This is the way I bought it at half price. The reason why I bought it was because I've never heard of it. I had never heard that this was a book by Mark Twain. It's similar to Roughing It and yet different. This book has so many weird stories, but there are so many really cool stories. And yet there are so many really weird stories. At the very end, there are stories by, and I'm not positive, but I think the Chippewa tribe. So there are two Native American tribe stories. Let me bet. There are two, yeah, that's right. There are two stories in here that I think are from the same tribe, the Chippewas. Okay. One of them is really sad. It's very thought-provoking. And I think it's about winter and spring. but the words are Native American. It's the tribal language. Then there's another one, and it wasn't written in the book. It's in the appendix. Okay, that book was weird. I mean, that story was just out there. Apparently it's about this girl whose husband loses his head, and she keeps it, and it talks to her. What was she smoking? I'm just saying. Okay, it was weird. There's 2 parts in here that I really did like. Three parts. I really enjoyed hearing about him learning to be a river steamboat pilot. I really enjoyed hearing him talk about when he went back to his childhood home neighborhood. And I also enjoyed him talking about how the language was changing. That was great. Okay. I don't know if I should keep this or not. It had a lot of good information in it. And then, okay, wait, what else did I read? Oh, okay, so let me read. I borrowed a book. I don't know if you see that. Borrowed a book from the library called Glucose Revolution. And it's basically about changing your diet and not consuming so much sugar. And it's not just table sugar, it's not honey, it's not it's like all forms of glucose. So if you know anything about that, it's all carbs, pasta, rice, potatoes, etc. So basically it's eat your fiber, then your protein, then your fat, then your starch/sugar last. That's basically what it boils down to. It was an okay book. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it unless you're interested about learning more about it. Was all right. Let me see where I'm at. Oh, I also did check out the Baby Steps Millionaire. I actually had it left over from December, and I just skimmed through it, so I'm not really counting it. I just have it in my notes. Okay, and the very last book that I read, that I completed, is The 12-Week Year. Get more done in 12 weeks than others do in 12 months. This is by Brian P. Morgan and Michael Lennington. This was great. This was really great. And so I'm going to save this one, go over it with Prometheus. We are going to put it into action and see if we like it. And so this, I dare say, is equal, if not better than this, and definitely better than Atomic Habits. Because this one actually lays out what you need to do instead of recommended from Atomic Habits. If you want to work out, just get in your car. No, wait, let me back up. If you want to work out and get healthy for the year, then you need to start with getting into your workout clothes. Do that for a week. And then the next week, get in your workout clothes and then drive to the gym. But don't go in. That would be crazy. No, do that for a week. And then the next week, put your workout clothes on, drive to the gym, go inside the gym for 5 minutes. That's it. But then what? And I might be a little facetious because I don't remember exactly the time period, but are you kidding me? Okay, first of all, if I'm going to take the time out to go to the gym, to drive to the gym, I'm working out. But who's going to do that? How many people put their workout clothes on, sit their butts on the couch and watch TV? How many? I'm just saying. So I definitely think that this book is better. Way better. It is honest, but not brutally honest. I like it. Then there are 2 books that were, okay, one was going to be read for the Rick McDonald spin, and I DNF'd it, and that is The Price of Everything. This was also on my elimination shelf. This is by Eduardo Porter, Finding Method in the Madness of What Things Cost. I DNF'd it straight away because I don't think that eliminating bodies inside of another body and women working near poles has anything to do with the cost of things. So it'll probably go in the trash. That's where it belongs. And then I was going to read this one, Uppity Women of Ancient Times for Historathon, and it's just such a waste of time. There was some information in here on, let's see who it was. Asher Sharai, Asher Sharat. Oh, the font is kind of weird. And it was talking about, I think it was talking about the husband. And there are apparently two versions of how he died. And so I looked it up, and that's not what the encyclopedia, the World History Encyclopedia, shows. So if I can't trust it... Oh, and then I did skip to another part where the names are changed, and they said Morty instead of Mordecai, and Myrtle instead of Esther, Hadassah. So, yes, Hadassah means Myrtle, but that's not her name. You know, my son's name could mean, my other son's name could mean strong, but we don't call him strong, right? Anyway, so these books are definitely getting unhauled. One of my goals for the month was to unhaul 4 books. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I will be unhauling all of this. And these 3. So I will be unhauling 10 books straight away and deciding what to do with these. I probably will unhaul this one. Anyways, so that's my wrap up for January. Let me know what you read. I think it was I mean, you know, if you can see that, there are 2 that I had to switch over to February, which was the Unsung Hero, Tom Crean, and Anna Karenina, and that's it. So I think it was a good success. Please leave a comment below. Let me know what you read in January, or just say hey. Thanks. Bye.